A reading from St. Luke's Gospel, chapter 10. From among the disciples, the Lord appointed 70 and sent them on ahead of him in pairs to every town and place where he himself intended to go. He said to them, "The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore ask the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into his harvest. Go on your way. See, I am sending you out like lambs into the midst of wolves. Carry no purse, no bag, no sandals, and greet no one on the road. Whatever house you enter, first say, 'Peace to this house.' And if anyone is there who shares in peace, your peace will rest on that person. But if not, it will return to you. Remain in the same house, eating and drinking whatever they provide, for the laborer deserves to be paid. Do not move about from house to house. Whenever you enter a town and its people welcome you, eat what is set before you. Cure the sick who are there, and say to them, 'The kingdom of God has come near to you.' But whenever you enter a town and they do not welcome you, go out into its streets and say, 'Even the dust of your town that clings to our feet we wipe off in protest against you.' Yet know this, the kingdom of God has come near. I tell you, on that day it will be more tolerable for Sodom than for that town." As I listen to the instruction of Jesus to his 70 disciples, I find it interesting that Jesus didn't encourage his disciples to engage in persuasion, argument, apology, dispute, or demonstration. Often we spend much time in these verbal works with our families and friends to turn them toward the Lord. But it seems the disciples of Jesus were free from these works. Jesus ordered them simply to proclaim the kingdom of heaven. If people accept and welcome the gospel, it is good and well. Otherwise, don't worry about them. Just give them a warning and move on. We might wonder if this approach would be effective at all. It might have worked for those ancient Jewish people, but it sounds too simple for the modern man. Don't we need to develop a certain sophisticated and powerful argument to appeal to the modern man? Those who have tried to encourage families and friends for faith will know our words most times do not work well, especially on the people who have something against God or the church. Let's not forget, even Jesus couldn't convert everyone he encountered during his ministry. On the contrary, he made lots of enemies. In the meantime, I have met people welcoming the gospel without my effort. All I have to do is to invite. There is no need for persuasion or argument. If there is to be any verbal work, it will be to explain faith as they ask. Jesus says today, "The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few." He doesn't ask to raise the crops. He asks us to gather the harvest. The Lord has already prepared people in mysterious ways. Reflect on yourself. Can somebody else develop my faith? Of course, many people influence our faith. But do they actually grow faith for us? Even if you love your son, you cannot grow his love for his fiancée, because love has to grow in the relationship between them. Likewise, faith can only grow in the relationship between God and me. Nobody else can grow it on behalf of me. It is the Lord who calls people to himself in mysterious ways. He prepares people for the harvest. When we invite them to the kingdom of heaven, they gladly respond. Many people don't have an opportunity to join the church because nobody has invited them yet. There is still a plentiful harvest waiting to be gathered. There is no time for futile disputes and arguments. It is time to proclaim and to invite.